Shadow Legend VR is a single-player RPG that gets a lot of things right and manages to impress with beautiful visuals and a unique feature set, but ultimately lacks in depth and feels more like a game that tried to do more than it should have. Let's look into why that is, starting out with objective and gameplay. The game is a single-player narrative-driven RPG that has a fantasy medieval setting where you find yourself taking the role of a grand master of a powerful army, and it's up to you to stop the war between two gods, one who wishes to create and the other destroy. The game sees you going through multiple environments that are beautiful and well detailed. In each area, you fight undead and collect souls to set them free, and also increase your stats such as health, damage, and range damage. The gameplay itself is where I take my biggest issue with the game. For every mechanic it handles well, it lacks in another. The amount of interactivity in the starting area is amazing, and it starts off so strong, but ultimately leads to feeling like filler content. For example, you can interact in the blacksmith store fixing swords and sharpening blades, which felt really well done, so much so that I expected it to be a major role in the game. But at the end of the day, you never get to do it again outside of that initial area. The sword fighting leaves more to be desired as well. It feels weightless when slashing at an enemy, even more so when compared to other VR offerings. It comes down to parrying their attack and slashing away as fast as possible. The range combat worked well enough and the variety in weapons is decent, but in order to use said weapons, you need to spend quite a bit of time exploring each area to find the hidden ruins that allow you to wield the weapons. This wasn't really an issue for me as I felt they were enjoyable to hunt down and track, but there are certainly people who would rather not be forced to ruin hunt to access the more unique and powerful weapons in the game. The inventory management I thought was really neat and a pleasure to use, and I also have to give them credit for the speech recognition they implemented into the game. It really does add a different sense of immersion that I hope more virtual reality titles use in the future. Being able to barter for an item and ask for a lower or higher price is much more enjoyable than it should be because of that. Now that you know what to expect out of gameplay, let's move on to features and content. Shadow Legend VR took me about 4 hours to beat start to finish, but I can certainly see it taking longer or shorter based on how you play. The story is a fairly linear experience, really only giving you the option of different dialogue choices throughout. Environments are beautiful to look at and open up just enough to explore around a bit for collectibles like the ruins and money. The game also features 2 boss fights, with the final boss really feeling like quite the letdown, as it feels like you're playing a game of Pong with the god of destruction. In terms of options for movement, you have full locomotion, teleportation, smooth turning, and snap turning. You are also able to just select dialogue instead of speaking it if you choose to. Expect traditional RPG features such as different weapons, stat building, inventory management, and a strong focus on narrative. Now that you know what to look forward to, let's move on to the visuals and immersion. Visually, the game is beautiful and the environments are detailed and genuinely enjoyable to look around. The enemies are well designed for the most part, and the weapons themselves look powerful too. Immersion is another strong aspect of Shadow Legend VR. While a lot of the interactivity at the start is really just there for show, it does help sell you on the world initially. The ability to speak your character's words is amazing, and it needs to be done more often. In fact, it's easily my favorite thing about the game. It makes even bartering for goods a fun experience and engages you in the story more so than just selecting your choice of words. Overall, Shadow Legend VR is a game that does so much right and should be applauded for what it's trying to do, but sadly it lacks in pretty important areas of gameplay that keep it from being a must-play experience. With that said, if you can look past the sword fighting and have been itching for an RPG-like experience, it's probably one of the better options out right now. Just go in understanding it's not perfect, and what you'll end up with is a decent RPG experience that does a great job immersing you into its world visually and offers just decent to okay combat. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out my latest review below, and right next to it you'll see what YouTube thinks you'll like most. Hit subscribe if you want more content and enjoy the reviews. I hope you have a great day, and peace.